Hi everyone, welcome to your live readings for the new moon in Gemini that's coming up this coming Monday. I hope this has been a good week and a good month for you so far. It's the end of a calendar month, but we're right in the middle of a lunar cycle. New moon in Gemini coming up on Monday. This is quite a powerful new moon to be working with as well. It's an opposite Jupiter in Sagittarius. It's opposite the great attractor, I believe, as well. For me personally, it's conjunct my natal moon. There's a lot to be working with in terms of manifestation, in terms of what we want to be bringing about. If you're here, please say hi. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know what your plans are for this new moon coming up as well. Because this is very much, obviously, where you focus your intention is going to be really, really important. Hi, what else is possible? And obviously, if you're here, please remember to like the video and share the video. That helps a huge amount. I'm going to start off by taking a look at the overall outlook for the collective. And then I'm going to look at what the 12 signs can be focusing on for this new moon. So the outlook for the collective for this new moon in Gemini on the 3rd of June, 2019. New moon at 12 degrees Gemini. So, collective. Okay. Okay. So as expected for this new moon in Gemini, it's really, really powerful and it needs to be heart focused for everybody taking part and working, hopefully, on bringing about something good in the not too distant future. The heart energy, which is where I've gone straight to, is really, really strong. So we need to be coming from a very, very loving place going into this. So I don't feel like this is about self-interest. I feel this is about what we want to be putting out into the world, the energy that we want to be creating, the kind of loving future that we want to be creating. And it's very, very much that in your rituals, in your workings, you're going to need to be focusing on the collective and ideally working collectively as well. It's all about the 6 of Wands. So it's about that glimpse of what we want to see in the world, but it's also about what I see here with decolonization and rebirth appearing on the 2 cushions here. This is all about creating a world in which we actually start to deal with the underlying assumptions, ideas, actions that lead to and reinforce the structures of oppression that exist. That's what we have to be focusing collectively on moving away from, and it needs to be that collective focus, that humanitarian focus that we're all putting our energy into. See, it's not about the hermit. So it's not about you individually creating something for yourself. It's not about you individually saying, well, I want this and I want this and I want this in my life. It needs to be much, much wider than that. And there is an opportunity here to kind of shift the game a bit, to shift the rules of what we're heading towards, what we're working towards. But it has to be that collective focus, that humanitarian focus, that focus on tearing down the structures that hold us and lock us in place. The past is the devil. This is what we're used to. This is everything that we're used to. It's structures of oppression. It's self-interest, self-involvement, not thinking wider, not thinking of the bigger picture. All of this is what we move away from with this new moon if we focus our intentions on that wider collective humanitarian picture at this time. And a lot of people have been feeling embattled. We know that. We know the attacks on various civil rights going on at the moment. We know the attacks on reproductive rights taking place across a lot of the United States at the moment. We know the attacks taking place on trans rights. We know the attacks taking place on so many things. We know the attempts to reinforce every measure, every structure that locks racism into place, that keeps everything into place. And those in power are doing that very deliberately at this time. Where we put our energy in this new moon has to be focused away from that, and it has to be that wide view, that view of what intentions we're setting that help the most number of people, that embrace the most number of people, that include the most number of people. So you're being challenged to look at it from the point of view of a King of Swords, very appropriate with this new moon taking place in an air sign. It really is about what you're putting in there that is going to enable us collectively to build something better, something more inclusive. So we're setting really the agenda for the kind of world we want to see. And you have to visualize it, you have to speak it into being for it to mean anything at all. This Monday, there is this energetic current with this new moon opposite Jupiter, opposite the great attractor, which gives us the space to actually do that, to have that impact. That's going to lead us into action, but it's also going to lead us into getting a sense of how we can change the picture very, very quickly. It moves us towards the 8 of Wands. So we are talking fast movement, fast action. So we set those intentions, but then we act as well. So it's one thing to set the intention for wanting a more equal world, wanting a world where we start to tear down structural oppression, but then it's about how we bring that to our day-to-day lives, how we bring that to our interactions, how we bring that to how we treat each other. The maturity here is seeing that we can do it, recognizing that we can move into something different, having the clear vision then, the clear thought to see how that comes about, and then starting to bring that about, collectively. As we said, it's not about the hermit, it's not a self-focus, it can't be a self-focus, it has to be looking outwards at this time. That's what takes us away from all those chains that have been in place for a very, very long time with the devil. That's what we're looking to break free of collectively. That's the main energy for this new moon in Gemini. It has to be heart-led. It absolutely does. This has to be based on love for those around us, based on much wider universal love, based on love of the planet that we're living on, and love of everybody living on it, with a view to doing better. So it can't be about resentment. It can't be about blame, tearing people down. You can recognize what we're up against, but it is all about opening the door, opening the horizon to that. That's what this new moon in Gemini looks like, and that's a very, very exciting energy to work with. But we do need to be putting that out there. It's a very powerful time to be working with that. Hi to everyone just tuning in. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Mahari. So I'm going to move on now to look at what this new moon looks like for the 12 signs. I'm going to start with Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising for this new moon in Gemini. And everyone who's watching, please let me know how your week is going. Please let me know how you've been doing. Please let me know what you're planning for this new moon as well. Aries. Aries. Okay, Aries. Okay, Aries, you're building love and connection with the people around you and wider than that as well. I feel that you are in a place where you're able to ride the emotional waves a bit better than other people, able to provide emotional support, emotional care, and able to point a way forward for a lot of people. I see you involved in a lot of discussions, advising people, encouraging people. You might be giving pep talks to those around you, but it's all about, I feel, you helping people to unlock the doorways in order to actually see how we can move forward to something better and how their lives can be better within that. So you need to be a Queen of Cups. This is who you're coming in as. You have the ability to see quite far and maybe to see what isn't necessarily seen by a lot of other people. You also have the ability to be quite understanding to people at the moment, understanding of their stresses, their strains, how that may be playing out. And this is going to be absolutely crucial because you're actually, and this may not always be your role, but I feel that you can be a bit of a peacemaker with people as well. I feel that where people are getting het up or worrying about other people, worrying about their own conflicts, you can be the one being like, look, hey, wait a minute, we're going to have to work together on this. And you can take people's experiences and feelings into account, but you can steer them forward because you can see much deeper what's driving people, why this is happening, and you can start to turn the picture away a bit, Aries. You don't need to be a king of coins. You don't need to be focused on practical matters necessarily. It really is about the love. It's about the emotion. It's about how you can guide people through that. And it's not about what is happening on the surface, what people are simply saying or doing. It's what is driving them deep down. That's what you're going to be connecting to. With the Seven of Coins showing up, that means that you can change people's perception and their focus through your words, through what you identify, Aries. With the Nine of Wands as well, I feel that you're going to be steering people away from a kind of defensiveness that they might have adopted, a one way of seeing things, a one way of doing things. I feel that you are opening people out when you're in contact with them, in touch with them. And that's going to enable you to diffuse the conflicts there of the Five of Wands. It's going to help you to steer people away from wasted energy on things that are not working, that are destructive, that are counterproductive. You're going to open up a bit of hope for people, Aries. This needs to be your focus at this time because you're able to bring that love and you're able to bring that deeper intuition and insight to what other people are dealing with. And that's your main role for this new moon. I hope that makes sense to you. The next sign is going to be Taurus. Taurus, sun, moon, and rising for this new moon in Gemini on the 3rd of June 2019. Taurus, thank you, Mehari. I hope it is a nice weekend for you, Sarah. Taurus. So the hair's actually a lot more green than it's appearing on your camera right now. The contrast is always slightly off. On YouTube, it's actually a kind of peacock green, but you have to take my word for that at the moment. Taurus. Thank you. You're coming in with quite a narrow focus at this time, Taurus. It's very focused on one thing and on something quite practical. And you're very wary of doing too much or thinking about more than one thing at this time. And that is... there are times when that's necessary. There are times when you knuckle down and just get on with what's in front of you, where that's going, and you don't look anywhere else. But I feel like you might be closing yourself off a bit, Taurus, and that's not the energy that you need to be bringing to this at this time. So there is a need for you to be reaching out, branching out, seeing wider, rather than just doing what you're already doing, however vital it is. So you come in as a Knight of Coins and you're sort of like, I can only do this right now. It's all I can do. Anything else is too much. It's too much. It's too much. But it's not a time to close yourself off with the Nine of Coins. It's not a time to get into your own head, into your own stuff. Again, in line with the collective who have the Hermit in that position, that's not what you need to be doing at this time. It needs to be wider. It needs to be more open. It needs to be more overarching in terms of your vision, or you're going to lock yourself into this. So we need you to move into this space of the 10 of Cups, Taurus. We need you to move into this space of love. We need to move you into this space of what would mean that I am emotionally fulfilled, what would mean the people around me are emotionally fulfilled, what would those connections look like, where can that lead us to, how can we make this more beautiful and more hopeful. And that needs you, I feel, Taurus, to really be sparking with new things that you're doing, new ideas, new ways of connecting with other people, new collaborative projects at this time. You have the Two of Wands showing up. So you need to be looking wider. You need to be ready to explore at this time, not closing yourself off, not focusing narrowly or only on yourself, but looking wider and more creatively, because you have important ideas, energies, and skills to bring to this picture at this time, Taurus. You move towards a space of the Three of Coins. So this is about how your skills and what you're doing can feed into what everyone else is doing. It's about how that connects you together with other people, how that makes a bigger and more fulfilling and emotionally satisfying picture. It's about the ingredients that you're bringing, Taurus. So you can't only focus on yourself at this time. You need to be feeling wider, opening yourself out wider, bringing your energy, your skills, and your love that bit wider, because you are able to bring far more to this than you are giving yourself credit for. I hope that makes sense for you, Taurus. The next sign is going to be Gemini. Hi, Neva Oruvio. Thank you. Gemini, sun, moon, and rising for this new moon in Gemini. So the new moon is in your sign, Gemini. I'm a Gemini moon myself, and it's conjunct my natal moon. So I imagine I'll be feeling this one a fair bit. Gemini. Okay. We need you to step away from the past, Gemini. We need you to step away from the self-limiting beliefs and perspectives that have been holding you back. I feel that you've been quite narrow up until this time, fixated on one or two things. And I feel that a lot of this has been to do with looking to the past or old past behaviors, old past ways of viewing things. Maybe old wounds as well, but these old patterns have been coming up and they have been locking you in place, Gemini. And I feel this new moon needs to be a whole new beginning for you. A whole new beginning for you in terms of how you approach work. For some of you, a whole new beginning for you in terms of your approach to love, how you go about that, what you feel about yourself in relation to all of these things. It is a really, really fresh start for you. You see, with the 8 of Swords there, you've outgrown the ways that you've looked at yourself, that you've looked at the world, your role within it, your place within it, and the things that you've been doing. And so this is where you open up to those new things, Gemini. It's very tempting to keep going back to those old things. Those things that are familiar, those things that ultimately have locked you in place and yet they feel comforting. But it's not about it's not about staying in the past, focusing on the past with the 6 of Cups, Gemini. This isn't what it's there for. And yes, that's familiar. And yes, maybe there are people who've been in your life for a long time. You've been relating to them in particular ways, but they have expectations upon you that also hold you back at this time. And we need you to be moving out of it. And we need you to have a bigger picture than you currently do. A much, much bigger picture than you currently do. This is very, very insular. You need to be moving beyond that because you are getting stuck. If the space isn't big enough for you, you need to find somewhere else that is. This needs strength, Gemini. This needs strength because I feel like what we have here is we have the part of you that wants to step forward and the part that's in the past, and they're at war with each other in a sense, and there needs to be some peace between those parts of you. It's really holding you back at this time, Gemini. Holding you back, causing you a lot of difficulties, and you need to be wide open to new opportunities. You also need to be connecting with people at this time. It's vital during your own season, during a new moon in your sign, that you're in connection with people. You're bringing your skills in. You have another sign with the 3 of Coins coming up. So you need to be acting out of trust as well. What I see with the 3 of Coins here is I see essentially putting in and having to trust that the outcome is going to be spectacular. You're not going to know that yet, but you need to be putting into those new projects, new ideas, new ways of relating to the world, new ways of relating to work, new ways of relating to people, new ways of approaching relationships, new ways of viewing yourself and relating to yourself, because the stuff that is holding you back is in there, it's locked in there, and it's what you need to be freeing yourself from. You need to be challenging those voices, those negative thought processes, those thought forms that attach to you, and everything else. If they are holding you back, if they are locking you in, if they are keeping you doing what you've done for a long time that hasn't got you anywhere, all of that has to be challenged. That needs you to stand strong and believe in yourself, in your power and your ability to influence events much more positively, Gemini. It's a big task for you. That's the energy that you have to be carrying in to this new moon. This is absolutely vital for you. You are carrying an awful lot of power here, and there is a chance for you to help us to manifest something much, much better. But it does need you to be willing to go off in a new direction, approach things in a new way. This is absolutely vital. This is a turning point for you if you use it correctly and wisely, Gemini. This is how you break through and bust out of those barriers that you felt yourself and you don't like them. This is how you're going to get past them, Gemini. I hope that makes sense for you. The next sign is going to be Cancer. Hi, Michelle. Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising for this new moon in Gemini on the 3rd of June 2019. Please remember to like and share the video, everyone. Cancer. Cancer. If you're coming part way through and you're wondering why the focus is like this, go back and watch the collective video at the end and it'll all make sense to you. This is a highly collective picture. That has to be the approach at this time, everyone. Time for you to wake up and time for you to start making decisions and doing stuff, Cancer, rather than focusing so much on staying exactly where you are. I feel you've been in quite a defensive place, quite a closed off place, quite a sort of shut out the world kind of place. There's a lot to deal with, but we need you out of this for this new moon in Gemini, so as you can contribute, so as you can embrace your own new beginning. And that is a beginning with other people, Cancer. Big visualization work required for you. You see, I feel that your ideas, your horizons have been quite limited, and even where they haven't, you've been hoping but not really believing and not doing too much and being like, well, that's too much of a drain. I can't go and do that. That's not quite right. That's not quite right. And you're holding yourself back, and we need you to not be doing that, Cancer. Coming in with a 4 of coins. Coming in with a 4 of coins because you've been trying to stay put. You've been trying to stay put and act like this is going to get you where you need to be. Well, it's not. It's not enough at this time, Cancer. It's also precarious to stay in a place like this. There needs to be more expansion. It's not about the 9 of Cups either. It's not about staying asleep. It's not about just hoping beyond hope, just wishing, yes, you have the things that you want to happen, but you're not going to get them by just staying put and not doing all that much, Cancer. I understand the anxiety that you're dealing with. It feels very, very real, but you can't just shut the world out, because we need you to be part of making this world better than it is. You have the Three of Cups and the Two of Swords showing up. You've been stuck because you've been trying to answer everything in isolation. You've been closing yourself off, maybe scared of the world, maybe not trusting the people around you, but we need you connecting with people around you. We need that joy and love that comes from community, that comes from friendship for you at this time. So do not stay in all weekend and all through the new moon. This is about you moving into the space of friendship, of community, of those who care about you, and fitting with them, giving them a chance. I feel like you might be quite cynical at this time, Cancer, about the people in your life, the people around you. You need to be giving people a fair crack of the whip. This is absolutely vital. This, I feel, is going to give you new ideas, new inspirations, new thoughts and concepts and visions about where you can move forward to, and how that can fit with everybody else in a much, much more positive way. So this can be quite imaginative for you, quite open for you, if you take part in it. The Seven of Cups is showing up, and with the Seven of Cups here, I feel this is all about you kind of getting your mojo back, getting your juice back, being able to see how you can create, how you can fit into this space, how it can be more emotionally fulfilling for you and those around you. But it needs you to come out of that shell, out of that closed off space. It needs you to be connecting, opening up, and setting that as the intention from which you're going to come up with new ideas, do new things, test them out, see how they go, and listen to what other people have to say as well, because otherwise I feel you get very locked in, stuck, anxious, and there's no need. It's a lot that you can be coming up with, conjuring and taking part in at this time, Cancer, but you need to be opening out to it. I hope that makes sense for you. The next sign is going to be Leo. Leo, sun, moon, and rising for this new moon in Gemini on the 3rd of June 2019. Leo. 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 Okay, Leo. Active time for you, Leo. You have energy, you have drive, you have inspiration. I feel like you want to light some kind of fuse at this time. So you know what you want to do, you know what you want to create, and you're all set to do it. However, you need to be a little considered at this time. I feel like you might be a little bit, I'm trying to find the word, it's not quite erratic, but you might be a little rash at this time in what you try to spark or start. Remember, this has to be big picture thinking for all of us at this time. It does need the wisdom, the belief in building a better, fairer, more equal world that exists by tearing down existing structures. And therefore, you need that big picture. What is the impact of what I'm planning on other people? This is really, really important for you, Leo. You can't go it alone. You can't be self-centered here. It needs to be a wider picture, and you need to be listening to other people as well. So the first card that comes up is your card. It's strength. Straight in with strength, Leo. And the strength that is required here is the one that means that you're not focused solely on self-interest, because you trust more in yourself, in your own power, in the people around you, and in the ability of you and everyone else to collaborate to build something better. It's not about being a page of wands, and the page of wands I feel here is very self-involved, very look at me, look at me, look at me. And that can be a useful thing to have, but at this time, I don't feel you're here to give instructions or spark things by yourself. It needs that wider view. It needs that stronger view. It needs a view that takes you a little way out of the ordinary as well. And it needs those discussions. With the Hierophant coming up, I feel here there are discussions. I feel people have something to say to you that's going to challenge your existing intentions, challenge your worldview, help you to develop to a more mature worldview, certainly a more overarching one, and one that is more in keeping with where you need to be going. It's not straightforward, but I feel that you might have been smoking that a little bit too much, basically, and it might have clouded your thinking a bit. So let other people in to help guide you, rather than feeling like you're the one who has to give all the instructions. That's going to help you a great deal at this time. You have death showing up. And with death showing up, I feel that you've been in this place of, well, no, it has to be done this way. I need to get this started, or nothing is going to be right. Everything must be like this. This, tightly controlled, all laid out. No. You've got to make a shift at this new moon, Leo. You have to open wider. You have to reconsider your approach and what you are wanting to happen, and you need to be viewing it in a wider way. It also needs you to be less forceful and more trusting. I feel you're influential, but I feel that part of that has to come from listening to other people, taking their views and ideas on board, using it to create something more. You come out of this as a Queen of Wands rather than a Page of Wands. So you come out of this with a more mature approach. That doesn't mean it's not dynamic, doesn't mean you're not acting. I feel you absolutely are. But it's that bigger view, it's that more overarching view. It's a more loving view that does not in any way detract from your individuality, from what you bring, from your own needs. But it's about marrying those to that bigger picture and enabling you to plan a bit more. Plan a bit more, go a bit more slowly in a way that involves other people and in a way that opens up your worldview at this time, Leo. I hope that makes sense for you. The next sign is going to be Virgo. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising for this new moon in Gemini on the 3rd of June 2019. Virgo. 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 Okay, Virgo. You're going quite deep here, Virgo. This feels, it feels primal, it feels sexual, it feels like this connects mostly to your personal relationships, especially love. I feel like you're a bit disaffected. I feel like you've been waiting for things to get better, or at least be as good as they were, but they've not been improving. They've been stalling, getting boring, getting old, getting samey. And I feel that you're with somebody you obviously care about, but you're letting them call too many of the shots. You're not asserting yourself, Virgo. You're not asserting what you truly want. And as a result of that, you're kind of just not quite feeling it. And you're not quite feeling it because I feel things are a bit too dull. With the Two of Cups, I feel the love is absolutely there. Whether that's a relationship or whether that's happening somewhere else in your life, be it in a business partnership, be it with friends or family, for most of you, it is a romantic or love relationship. But the sense that I get is you just sort of, I don't know if you can see there, the sort of almost side eyeing, the sort of what are you talking about? Why are you not paying enough attention to me? But you've been very, very passive, I feel, acting as a Page of Cups. Very, very passive. Might have had your strings pulled a bit, made yourself too available, too adaptable, too reasonable. And I know that you have a tendency, some Virgos, to be really, really passive, and it gets stored up, and then you snap and flip and you're out of there. And that might be the pattern that's playing out here for some of you. But if you're bored and disaffected with the Four of Cups, I do feel that you need to say so. It does feel very, very samey for you. Very like, where's the life gone from this? I want to be excited. I want to be excited. You're not exciting me. Why aren't you exciting me? Communicate it with the Page of Wands. Get a bit more lively, a bit more expressive, a bit more open. Say what is in your heart, and what's in your heart, not what's on your mind. This isn't for you to come up with like a long list of criticisms, but it's about, I want this, I desire this, this is what I want to feel. Let's work together to create that. That's the sense that I get. That's then going to move you to a space where you can then not feel so trapped, feel so much like nothing you do or say improves things because you're not doing or saying enough. So the final card coming up for you, Virgo, is the Hanged Man. With the Hanged Man, what I feel is just that you start to get a bit of life back, a bit of hope back, a bit of optimism back. You start to become a bit freer, more joyful. That's a very personal focus compared to most of the signs. But what this is about is your own optimism and contentment then allowing you to be more creative, to take your instincts, to not assert yourself in this situation, do away with them, and then feel more optimistic about what you can bring elsewhere as well. But you do need to be talking in your relationships about what you truly want, Virgo. This is the time for that. That's your new moon work. I hope that makes sense for you. Hi Trisha. Hi Kimchi. Hi Kimchi Bay. Next sign is going to be Libra. Thank you, Trisha. Libra sun, moon, and rising for this new moon in Gemini on the 3rd of June 2019. Libra. Please remember to like and share the video, everyone. Okay. Okay. You have something to draw a line under, Libra. You absolutely have something to draw a line under and turn away from. At this time, I feel that you've been going around in circles. You've been going around in circles and it's not got you anywhere. I feel that whatever you were trying to pull off, the person who you wanted to work with on this could have been a relationship, it could be a work situation, someone you wanted to work alongside of or be in partnership with in some sense. They put their hand up and were clear that it's not going to be that. And because it's not going to be that, you need to be asserting yourself elsewhere, Libra, because you're not just here to bend to everything else that's out there. You are here to create something for yourself. Queen of Wands is showing up, and I feel this is somebody who told you that you're not going to have it all your own way. There is also this need, therefore, for you then to focus your energy on what is open to you instead, rather than just repeating and repeating and repeating. So I feel you stepping away and heading off in a new direction with a new beginning from this new moon, Libra. It's not about justice, okay? So it's not about just staying and doing the same things where it's not quite right, where it's not quite balanced, and it's not balanced what you've been doing, and that's why you're moving away from it. You're moving away from it and you're opening yourself up to something that you hadn't allowed yourself to before because you were focused on one course of action. But you have the Ace of Cups showing up and you have the Fool showing up with it. So these are brand new beginnings for you from this new moon, Libra. I feel that this is also about you opening up to new possibilities. And that's true in your personal life, but it's also a new way of viewing the world and your role within it, Libra. I feel that you've been quite frustrated and tired as well. And part of this circling has been making you anxious, agitated. It's not got you where you wanted to be anyway. So what do you want to do? Because whatever you want to do, you can go and do it at this time. Ace of Cups and the Fool. And with the Six of Cups showing up as well, I feel then that this allows you to take this more playful approach as well. So you've been, I feel, very, very serious. Maybe try to keep a close check on yourself as well. Hyper-analyzing maybe everything with justice. We need you to move out of that role of thought and over-analyzing and move into a space that is more creative, that is more in line with what you actually desire with the Queen of Wands. Ace of Cups and the Fool bring you the opportunity to do just that, but it requires you to take that step, to look into the unknown. That means you're turning away from something else, so as you can go down that rabbit hole, so as you can drink that bottle. But I feel it's going to lead to you being a lot more light-hearted, a lot more joyous, and a lot less serious. And fine, yet the collective needs to be a King of Swords, but you've been doing that way too much, Libra. So you're going to dial that down and focus on joy at this time and how you contribute to joy in a wider sense as well. I hope that makes sense for you, Libra. The next sign is going to be Scorpio. Hi, Joelle. Hi, Amber. Hi, Teresa. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising for this new moon in Gemini on the 3rd of June, 2019. Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio. Okay, complicated. It's a time of change and transition for you, Scorpio. I feel that you've been locked in to some emotional struggles, emotional difficulties yourself. Not unusual, but I feel like you've kind of been feeling sort of caught in that, trapped in that. And you've been trying to sort of tell people, oh no, I'm fine. I'm fine. There's no problem here. I'm absolutely fine. Don't worry about me. So you've been keeping people at a distance as well, Scorpio. That's the sense that I get. You've been keeping people at a distance. You don't always allow people close. So that is, you know, not unusual for you, but I feel like you're needing to come up for air at this time. And that also means allowing other people in to help you because you've been quite overwhelmed. It's okay to ask for help. You come in with the 5 of Cups. I'm going to work this out for myself. It just needs a little bit of focus and attention, all of this. And don't worry about me. I'm fine. It's not that bad anyway. But it's not about the sun for you. It's not about the sun for you. So I feel that there's 2 things here. One is it's not about going it alone, but nor is it about endlessly analyzing what's been and gone and staring at it. Oh, I'm going to work through this. I'm going to work this out. I'm going to do this. And you're getting down. That's not going anywhere. That is a destructive pattern within you, Scorpio. That's what you are moving out of at this new moon. King of Wands and the 6 of Wands are showing up. Don't just let anyone in, but let someone in who gives you a bit of warmth, a bit of fire, makes you feel good about yourself, opens your horizons, makes you feel more is possible than this, Scorpio, because you've been getting so down with it that you haven't been seeing too much of the kind of future that you need for yourself individually, let alone what we're going to need collectively. You feel that if you let people in, you'll get overwhelmed, but you're already overwhelmed. So there is this need to allow the right person in, somebody with a bit of with a bit of fire, Somebody with a very positive, larger than life attitude, I feel, is who you need around you at this time, Scorpio. Who's going to lift you simply by their presence. Okay, that is going to then help you out of the doldrums, out of this focus on the past, out of this endless over analyzing. Your final card is the 5 of coins. So it's about being able to be helped away from that space and to let go of it, to move away from it, to allow those difficulties to fall away into the background so as you can bring some optimism in at this time, Scorpio. That's what you have to bring to the picture. It requires you to open up to the right person. And it requires you to stop going over and over on old ground. I hope that makes sense for you. The next sign is going to be Sagittarius. Sag, sun, moon, and rising for this new moon in Gemini on the 3rd of June 2019. Sagittarius. Excuse me. There we go. Okay. Are you ready to be receptive at this time, Sagittarius? There's a need for you to be receptive. There's a need for you to listen to other people's points of view, ideas, and insights, because it's going to shift your take on what you do next. It's also going to open you up in that sense, I feel, to new possibilities, new ways of doing things, and new collaborations as well. I feel like collaborations are on their way for you, Sagittarius. You're coming in as the Chariot, pushing forward. You have people around you. You don't know what to make of them. You don't know if you trust them or not. So you might sometimes, someone says something to you, it's an idea, it's a bit of advice, and you're sort of like, oh yeah, sure. But actually you internally you dismiss it, quietly you dismiss it. And sometimes that's useful. At the moment, it's not. I feel people around you are going to have insights for you that shift your perspective and how you're looking at things. And suddenly you'll be able to see a new way of things, new way of looking at things that is more positive, more optimistic, opens up possibilities for you. And then you want to take part in it. It's not about the High Priestess for you. So I do feel the best guidance for you at this time is going to come from other people. I don't feel this is about your intuition guiding you at this time. Or more accurately, I don't feel it's about what you might mistake for your intuition guiding you at this time. But actually, there are some thought forms in there. There are some negative ideas that shut people out. It's not about that for you. You have the Wheel of Fortune showing up, and you have the Moon showing up. With the Wheel of Fortune showing up, I feel you need to be very, very flexible, and you are a mutable sign, so you can be flexible. I know often you get your heels dug in, and then you're very inflexible. You can't be at this time, Sagittarius. Remember, the wheel is represented by Jupiter, which is your ruler. So I feel that the people around you at this time, and maybe those coming into your life over the next couple of days, are going to have really, really useful ideas, insights for you. So you need to listen to those more, and not so much your inner voice that dismisses them on some level. Add that to the moon, and you're going to be taking a chance on doing new things, seeing the world in a new way, potentially opening you up to a different way of viewing and experiencing the world. And certainly the things that you're engaged in, the way you approach work, what kind of friendships, relationships, community you actually want to take part in. This opens you up, opens you up, opens you up. With the Three of Coins, it gives you something that you can be putting into as well. Yes, it stirs you up, but then you also add some stuff and you stir that pot as well, Sagittarius. I feel it will come to the boil very quickly, and I feel that it can be really, really positive for you and allow you to be assisting the greater sort of wider picture than that as well. But it needs you to be open in that way at this time and going forward, because you're setting your intentions at a new moon. This is what you're bringing in and then working with from that point forward. I hope that makes sense for you, Sag. The next sign is going to be Capricorn. Hi, Natalie. Capricorn. Cappies. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising for this new moon in Gemini on the 3rd of June 2019. Okay. You know, no one likes a know-it-all, Capricorn. No one likes a know-it-all. No one likes somebody who tells everyone else what's going to happen, what they're going to do, where that's going to go, or that's going to go wrong, or that has gone wrong. I knew that was going to go wrong. Some of you are carrying this kind of attitude in with you. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It also pisses a lot of people off. It really does. And it's like, just not at this time, Capricorn. It feels gratuitous. It feels alienating for people. It feels like it ultimately alienates you as well. So any kind of joy that comes from it is quick. It's very short-lived, quickly runs out. Then you get a bit of regret. Then you do it again. Here's what you're breaking at this new moon. You're coming in with the Five of Swords. So who have you upset? Who have you pissed off? Who have you not listened to? What's come back to haunt you? What's come back to bite you? Were they thoughts? Were they words that you spoke? What were they? What were they? Because for this time as well, it's like someone, you didn't see that one coming, did you? So busy dictating to everyone else, you didn't see what was right in front of you. Okay? Not about being a queen of coins at this time, Capricorn. I feel like some of you have been like the sort of stern mother to a number of people in your lives, and not just your children. Even if it's your children, it's not the best approach, but it's sort of like, don't do that, because then that's going to happen. Oh, there you go. I told you that was going to happen. Well, you're on your own now. It's this sort of, it's not very warm. It's not very warm. It's not very helpful, Capricorn. You need to be more receptive, more open, and you need to stop prejudging situations because you're creating self-fulfilling prophecies. You're sowing doubt. It's not great. Okay. 3 of Wands is showing up. So is the Empress. There's the stern mother again. But so fixated on that, on being that to other people, you're missing everything around you, everything else that's swirling around around you. And that's why you're being so, I feel, negative, pessimistic. With the 3 of Wands, you need to be seeing further, making your way into new things, doing new things, and encouraging other people. Encouraging other people. At the moment, you're going to wind up quite isolated and alone. You're not allowing other people to help you either. So set in your ways in this space. It's not healthy. Your final card is the 10 of Wands. It's a real challenge for you, I feel, to step back from this, to open yourself up to being more positive, more open, to letting other people find their own way, and to encouraging and supporting them. It's what you need to be moving into at this time, Capricorn. Otherwise, this is just going to repeat itself. This 5 of Swords will happen again and again because you have been a bit too self-involved, a bit too self-important, a bit too much of a know-it-all. That has to stop at this new moon, Capricorn. I hope that makes sense for you. The next sign is going to be Aquarius. Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising. Capricorn, as much as anything else, it just needs you to relax a bit. Yeah. So the other thing with the Empress there, she's very relaxed and you're not. So be more relaxed, seriously. Chill a bit. Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising for this new moon in Gemini on the 3rd of June, 2019. Aquarius. Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius. You're feeling like something is not all you thought it would be at this time, Aquarius. For a lot of you, it is a relationship. For some of you, it could be a project or a piece of work that you embarked on. And now you're wondering why you got into it. Because like the scales lift a bit and you're sort of like, oh, ew, really? Really? That's your starting point. So I feel like you got into something without sort of sussing it out fully beforehand, Aquarius. You took a chance. Maybe you had your rose-tinted glasses on and it's kind of now you're sort of, oh, actually don't want to be here at all. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'll go and do something else. Can I change this? I don't know. 7 of Cups. 7 of Cups. I also feel like, yeah, I feel like you just read way more into something than was there and you got yourself into it and now you're not sure why you did that. You're not sure why you did that. And with the Ace of Coins in the not position, it's not about entrenching yourself in that. It's not. if it's going to change and be what it needs to be, you can't just continue on the same path. And I feel like stuff regarding your wider worldview may be coming into question at this time as well. In line with the collective, this is a shift in worldviews at this new moon. Don't lose the focus on that. This is about trying to working on coming up with a vision of a more inclusive, more open, more healing world than we currently live in, which involves challenging oppression as well. That's been coming up throughout. That's entirely what we were dealing with for the collective, with the Six of Wands as that focus. For you at the moment, Aquarius, it really is about weighing up whether the situations you've invested yourself in are worth staying in or not, because they're going to get you down. They're going to get you down, but I don't feel you necessarily walk away. I feel you need to challenge them. You need to approach them from a different perspective, a different angle, turn them into something else. You have the moon showing up. You also have the Nine of Wands showing up. I feel this is the choice, because I feel like you're going to get embattled here. You're going to bicker. It's going to be painful, tiring. You might be quite defensive if you just allow things to go as they are, and you won't be happy. With the moon, I feel again that this is about, okay, can this be done differently? Can there be a whole fresh approach to this? And if there can be, well, does that mean for my wider worldview as well? Because this is all about reaching for that bigger picture, that bigger prize, and that is the world. I don't feel that you prematurely drop out of things, run away from things or anything else, but I feel like you have to find value in them from a new approach, a new perspective, a new way of doing them. And that has to be the energy that you carry from this new moon going forward, Aquarius. I hope that makes sense for you. The next sign is going to be Pisces. Hi, super angry koala. Pisces, sun, moon, and rising for this new moon in Gemini on the 3rd of June 2019. Everyone's saying they love the blue. It's actually green. It just shows up blue on YouTube for some reason. It's actually like a peacock green. Maybe it's the artificial lighting, I'm not sure. Pisces. Bless you, thank you. For being so lovely, thank you. Okay, Pisces. Hi, LV. I'm not going to say it again. You can watch the video back. You've been getting down, Pisces. You've been trying to please other people. Yeah, you have. You know you have. And no, you got to focus on yourself here. I know it's been all collective. Here you focus on yourself, on what's right for you, on who you align yourself to, on what you align yourself to, in order that you can be helped. It's a new start for you, Pisces. It's a new start that's then going to require work. So I feel some of you are going to be starting new projects, new lines of work. Some of you might be relocating or changing how you work, changing where you work, the things that you do. It's a new approach for you. New approach coming in with the Ace of Wands, and it feels very solo, very individual, very about where you want to be going. And that requires you to take a bit of a running jump at it, to get fired up and go for it from this new moon. Not about sticking it out and collaborating with other people with the Three of Coins. It's really, really individual. It's going to require a lot of your own work with the Eight of Coins as well. And I feel that this is where you also need to be a little bit selfish, or you might see it as selfish. It's not, but it is about, it's about looking at your work and your relationships and your friendships and your connections and what drains you. What has been draining you, Pisces? What has been draining you? Do you have energetic or psychic vampires around you? Are you conscious of that? Even if they're not, you might be. Ten of Swords has come up for you. So I feel that you might have been taken for granted, drained, used up a bit, and you need to be using your energy for yourself and to propel yourself forward at this time. That means setting clear boundaries. It means being clear that you don't just tolerate being taken advantage of or anything else. It also means working on self-belief, self-assuredness, so as you can make those new beginnings and also stay the course. I feel that when you do that, you're going to get a lot of assistance from the universe. The universe is going to help you to move forward on your new project, Pisces. Your final card coming up is the Wheel of Fortune. So I feel the doors are going to open for you. I feel you're going to be able to find your way through, but only if you stop letting other people have so much control over you and over your well-being. I hope that makes sense for you, Pisces. That is all 12 signs. Please remember, everyone, to like the video and share the video. If my readings help you and you'd like to leave me a tip or a donation, please do so. My PayPal details are just in the box below. If you'd like to book a personal reading, be that a tarot reading or an astrology reading, my details for that are also in the box below. I have time now to pull cards for a couple of people. If you have any questions, anything you'd like me to pull cards for you on ahead of this new moon or in general, please pop them in the live chat and I will see which of you I am drawn to. Trisha is asking, I just manifested a spiritual transition, transformation, Zelda. What is most important for me to know as I continue on this new journey? Okay, Trisha, let me have a look for you. Had some cards flip over. This is about how you support and carry yourself at this stage, Trisha. It's going to be about changes in work, changes in what you do, changes in what you are working to create that is tangible, that you put a lot of effort into. With the Nine of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles showing up, you need to be seeing yourself as accomplished, as being able to create, as being able to support yourself, as being self-assured and feeling confident with other people rather than comparing yourself to them as well. Also have the Lovers showing up, and with the Lovers showing up here, I feel that this is about the encouragement and support that you are going to give to yourself. There's a lot of self-love involved here, but it's also about making that commitment and pushing yourself, encouraging yourself to do so, where you do embark on these new projects that I feel are all about staying the course, self-sufficiency, self-love, self-respect, and then being able to offer support to other people from this place of far, far greater confidence. I hope that makes sense for you. Let me see who else I'm drawn to. The new moon's on the 3rd of June, LV. What else is possible? Do you have any guidance on my current state? It all seems very magnified, but I'm missing it. Okay, what else is possible? Let's have a look for you. Guidance on what else is possible's current state. There's something really obvious that you're not quite allowing yourself to look in the eye and accept, and it's right there, and it's an uncomfortable truth, and you've been avoiding it. You've been avoiding it because when you accept it, you are going to have to step away from something that you've looked at or valued or engaged in, invested energy in, okay, for a long time. A lot of hope might have been invested in it, but it's just not quite working, and there is a need to move away and on to something else, a new way of feeling, new way of doing things. And that means that you have to accept what isn't working and feel what that means for you. You're coming as the hermit in this situation. Coming in as the hermit, I feel like you have been very closed off, maybe to a really obvious truth at this time. But with the 5 of Cups, you do have to accept what isn't working, what is coming to an end. Still value it, still honor it, but recognize that this is a time for change and for moving on to something that has more prospects and more legs, because I feel that otherwise you're draining yourself. Your final card is the 6 of Swords. With the 6 of Swords, this really is about being able to see past this, open yourself up to new horizons, new beginnings. I feel it's all about the moving away from this mindset that is fixated on something and then ignored when it's not been working out. That's the sense that I get. So closed off to the truth. Now you're going to see it. You're going to see it, and then you're going to open up your vision and your attitude in a new direction. I hope that makes sense for you. LV7095LV, June is my birthday month. Do you see a love coming in? Thank you. Let me have a look for you, LV. You're very welcome. What else is possible? LV. Is LV going to get a love for their birthday? Let's find out. Happy birthday for whenever in the month it is. I want to say yes, but not immediately, okay? I feel like Okay, you give yourself away quite easily to a lot of people, and as a result, a lot of people have access to you a lot of the time, too much of the time at the moment. With the Seven of Swords, I feel like you need to clear some space for this to come in. You need to clear some space for this to come in, because that then has death. With death, I actually feel that this is about bringing in self-love, transforming into a place of greater self-love, greater self-respect, that enables you to be able to attract the love that you need. Then the lovers appears. So I do feel something real is coming for you. If it's going to be in June, it'll be towards the end, but you have to be clearing space for it. I hope that makes sense for you. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for your questions and your comments. Please remember to like the video. Please remember to share the video. If you would like to book a personal reading, my details are just in the box below. If you'd like to help me out by leaving me a tip or a donation, my details for that are also just in the box below. I'm going to wish you all a wonderful weekend and all the best with what you're working on for this new moon in Gemini. Remember, this is about a collective focus. This is about being able to visualize and start creating a world that is less oppressive, that is more equal, that has more hope, because that's what we all need at this time, and that is what we can start to bring about by working with this energy. So fine, you have things you want yourself, but they're not going to be worth much if the world isn't worth living in. So you have to be looking wider in that sense at this time. Have a great weekend. Have a great Friday afternoon, evening, night, or Saturday morning, depending on where you are in the world. I will see you all again really soon, and probably on Sunday.